Hey everyone, Colin once again, and welcome back to the next movie review for Halloween month. Now, after I had to reveal that shitty movie, predictable excuse of a movie called Hide and Seek, now I'm going to watch a much better movie, which actually, it's not predictable, to me it isn't, and it was kind of like, had more creepiness, or atmosphere, or I would say more, probably with suspense, than Hide and Seek did. And it's a different take on because it's a found footage film. So I know it's different from Hide and Seek, as I know, but still, as a film itself, I think I enjoy this 10 times better than Hide and Seek. But it's a found footage film, and actually, I'd say it's one of the better. I'd probably say it's probably one of the best Bigfoot movies I've seen. Because I've seen in the past, I've seen a lot of Bigfoot films, but wish they were not good though. So, but I'll probably say this. Is probably one of the best interpretation of Bigfoot, and that is of exists. And one of the things why I like about this film, and that is because it's from the director of the Blair Witch Project, Eduardo Sanchez. Eduardo Sanchez, which he helped co-directed the Blair Witch Project though with the other director. But he co-directed that film, and he also directed an interesting film called Altered, which I thought was pretty interesting. Interesting film, Altered. But Eduardo Sanchez, I think he did a really good job with this film. So Exist, it's a found footage film. It's a found footage about Bigfoot, and I thought it was a very fun film for me. I thought it was entertaining. It kept at a very fast pace, unlike Hide and Seek was a very slow pace. And I didn't think it was that predictable, and it didn't have a typical downbeat ending like we see in a lot of found footage movies, which I appreciate. I do appreciate of that. And I thought the cast for the most part did a pretty good job, especially the lead guy. The lead guy, the guy who plays Brian, Chris Osborn. I thought he did a really good job. At times I felt sorry. At times I felt sorry for the guy, and he did some pretty funny lines of dialogue too. But when Bigfoot arrives and shit hits the fan, it was very well shot, and some of the praises that this film gets, like this person from DCIST, masterfully crafted, delivers on a high octane thrills. This one from FearNet, a fun, fast paced, and admirably creepy affair. Which I agree there, it is very fast paced. Like, this is like hour and 20 minutes, take away the end credits, hour and 15 minutes. So it's easily fast paced, which is a very short film. This one from the Horn called The Film Just Works on Every Level, a quick hitting horror film that is easily rewatchable and enjoyable. I would agree on that. It is an enjoyable film. I can rewatch this anytime. And for a special feature, it has an audio commentary with director Eduardo Sanchez and writer Jamie Nash, and has a behind the scenes of the making of the film, and a featurette bringing Bigfoot to life featurette, yeah, and deleted scenes. Now, while I enjoy the film, the funny thing is, this film has a 33% Rotten Tomatoes. 33% Rotten Tomatoes, which I call bullshit on. Now, this is definitely much higher than Hide and Seek, which has a 12%, deservedly so. But this gets a 5.2 on IMDb. Now, you're telling me that a film like this has a 5.2, which is so much better than most of the Bigfoot movies, but shitty films like this, like Hide and Seek, has a 5.9 IMDb. This is much higher than this. I call bullshit on that. And this came out in 2014. And a year before this, in 2013, there was another Bigfoot movie called Willow Creek, which is directed by comedian Bobcat Goldthwait, which I don't care about. Willow Creek, that gets an 80%, for some reason gets an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes. 80%? But that film gets also a 5.1 on IMDb. So basically, this is almost basically on the same level as this film is. How does that make any sense? I have no idea. Because Willow Creek was a boring fest. I think, in one shot for a good portion of the movie, like maybe 20 minutes, is one shot of the couple in their tent, just looking around in their tent outside. What's going on, huh? What's going on? I'm like, jeez, 20 minutes of that. Like most of this movie, there was already a lot of shit happening in this movie than that. But that gets a 5.1. This gets a 5.2. Oh, it barely beats Willow Creek. But still, it's basically on the same level, you could say. But Willow Creek gets, for some reason, gets an 80% Rotten Tomatoes, and they get a 33% Rotten Tomatoes. And while Hide and Seek gets a 5.9, which that is so predictable, that this gets a much higher rating than this. I call bullshit on that. This one was fuckload better than Willow Creek or Hide and Seek. I know that's in comparison because those Hide and Seek and this one were two different things, though. But still, I'm comparing by film, okay? Because I'm reviewing these two back to back here. That's why. We're wondering, gummy bears. I'd rather be doing them. Well, yeah, but I don't know why. But anyway, Willow Creek. Getting into the film, it's found footage, like I said. We have 5 people, 2 brothers. One of the brothers is our lead guy named Brian, and the other brother named Matt. And they have 3 other friends with them. They're going into the woods in Texas, deep in the woods, and somewhere in Texas. And because their uncle has a cabin there, so they're going there to have some fun, right? Then you get to like a little fun moments where one of there was a brother, and then the brother was driving, and the friend was in the back seat. They're trying, like, our guy Brian, he's asleep, right? They try to set his beard on fire. Then all of a sudden they hit something. They don't know what it was. They see some blood a little bit on the front of their car. They don't know where it came from, but they don't know what it is, and they don't know where the body is at. So, after all that, they continue on in the woods. They have a little fun time, right? And our guy Brian, he brings a lot of cameras, which I'm thinking, yeah, we were wondering why is this guy bringing so many cameras just to have fun in the woods, in the cabin in the middle of the woods. I'm willing to give that leeway though, because I'm having fun with the movie. Because see, when you enjoy the film a lot, you do tend to look over some certain nitpicks, right? But yeah, you say a good question: why would he bring so many cameras, right? And then they hear some strange noises at night. They hear some a wailing, some wailing out in the woods. You know, wail, like when you're crying, you wail. You know, wailing, cry, whatever. They don't know what that is. And so they're hearing some strange noises at night. So the guy Brian sets up some cameras like outside to see what's happening. And so when they come across it is Bigfoot. Like when our guy Brian brings up the camera to the window, and when he shines the light on the window, boom! All of a sudden there's Bigfoot's face. And I thought really good for like the makeup or costume design of Bigfoot was well done. And the guy who plays Bigfoot is Brian Steele. Brian Steele, he's been in a few films. Like he was in the first Terminator, you know, in the beginning when Arnold first arrived, right? And there's these three punks. One of them is Bill Paxton, and another one is Brian Steele. Brian Steele is the one that he got Arnold punched right through him because he wouldn't give his clothes up, so Arnold punched right through him. That was Brian Steele. And of course, he was also in The Bad Guy in Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. You know, he's the one that goes, pig. Yeah, that's Brian Steele. And he was also in Fright Night Part 2. You know, the sequel to Fright Night with Roddy McDowall and William Ragsdale. The sequel, he's also one of the vampires in Fright Night Part 2. Yeah, so Brian Steele, he's been in quite a few things. So he plays Bigfoot. And I thought him playing as Bigfoot, I think he did a good job. and the makeup and costume of Bigfoot was when we see in whatever's in the footage. I think it looks pretty good, and a lot of stuff happening. The Bigfoot is not messing around in this movie compared to what other ones I've seen in the past Bigfoot movies. Because there was Legend of Boggy Creek, there was Bigfoot County, that was crap. Then I mentioned Willow Creek, that was dog shit. Bigfoot was the Lost Coast tapes. Had some interesting ideas, but it was ended up being a disappointment. So the ones I've seen, of course, there was an awful CGI sci-fi movie Bigfoot with Danny Bonaducci. That was dog shit because hey, it's sci-fi, so it's the Asylum. Of course, it could probably be dog crap. It's from the Asylum. So, to me, this is the best Bigfoot horror film. Yeah, there's Harry and the Andersons. I'm talking about horror type movies with Bigfoot. Harry and the Andersons is more of a family movie, but although I do like Harry and the Andersons, I do like that movie. Probably put that next to Exist though, but I'm talking about like horror suspense movies with Bigfoot. I'm talking about this is probably the best one. Exists, especially if you get in the hands of the director of the Blair Witch Project. Of course, it has to be good. As I was saying, shit hits the fan. Bigfoot is pissed. He's trying to get through the windows, getting through the wall, breaking through the walls, the doors. They're trying to try their best to hide themselves from the Bigfoot. Try shooting at it because there's a shot where I think it was the brother, not the lead guy's brother, but the other brother. He shoots a shotgun. There's like it shoots a flash, a flashbang. Boom! You see, it sends Bigfoot flying back. Grabs one of the girls, like kind of like throwing her around, and just coolly trashes the cabin. Like they try to get hide underneath from underneath a hidden doorway, a trap door, and one by one they just get picked up one by one. The girl gets killed, and then like I said, she gets tossed around. And so, the brother, because they try to go back to the car, that gets completely trashed. And so the brother has the idea he tries to go on his bike and call for help. Sometime get a signal on his cell phone. And he gets a really cool shot. I mean, I don't know how they filmed it though, because of the brother, he's on his bike and he has a GoPro on his helmet, right? And all of a sudden he's trying to get a signal. And then boom, there's Bigfoot right in the middle of the road, right? And then you get this really cool shot where he's on his bike, he's riding his bike, trying to go very fast on this trail, and then he looks, boom, on his side, that's on his right side, right? Boom, Bigfoot, he's just hauling ass. He's literally hauling ass through the woods, running, getting the guy on the bike. I'm like, how they film for Brian Steele running in that costume? Make him seem like he's going very fast on this guy who's riding on a bike. I thought that was a really well shot, and then eventually tackles him, takes him, doesn't kill him, not yet, doesn't kill him. And then there's Brian, the other guy, and the other girl. I think it was the girlfriend, the other guy's girlfriend, the brother's girlfriend. And so they hear him. They try to save him. Then the other friend, he tries using fireworks, trying to send a signal, trying to signal for help, right? And then through the smoke, boom! There's all of a sudden Bigfoot's just running up to the guy, up in the guy's face. I mean, there's some really good shots on how this footage is being handled. And then eventually he gets killed. And eventually, then the brother gets. Well, they take the brother in, and then it's the girl and the brother. They find this abandoned trailer, and Bigfoot just topples the trailer right over this cliff. And the footage is how everything's rolling over as it's going down this cliff, right? Then the brother and the other girlfriend is dead, and then we see because the Brian, he's shaken up, or he's trying to adjust because after being tumbled over in this trailer. Then all of a sudden he looks up. Then there's Bigfoot. All of a sudden is just dropping down, falling right He jumps right up from the cliff, lands right on top of the trailer as the guy is looking up through the camera. I'm like, damn, you know? That's another good shot is there as well. So he's running, and then he gets knocked out, and he gets dragged. He gets along with the dead bodies of his brother and his friends, and the big reveal: there is another dead body next to his dead friends and brother. Is this junior version of Bigfoot? Because that it wasn't Bigfoot himself that they hit; it was basically his kid. Basically, they hit and killed his kid, and the howling howling cries that they were hearing earlier was Bigfoot crying because they killed his kid, basically, and that's why he is so pissed, because they killed his kid. Although it was an accident, though, but still, like, even the brother, he tries to apologize. Oh, hey, because it wasn't his fault, because he was asleep in the passenger seat, so he had no idea. But he tries to apologize. He runs, and then his uncle arrives, tries to shoot Bigfoot, his uncle, because they called him before, and they managed to why, because before they questioned when they first arrived in his cabin why it looked so trashed, a little bit trashed, because the uncle knew that he was out there. That's why he didn't return. But then he's running now. The Brian's running. You see him. He's there. He tries to shoot Bigfoot. Then Bigfoot kills him. And then he has the shotgun. And then because he's at the bridge where his uncle's truck is, right. Bigfoot is there behind him. The camera turns to points to him. He puts the gun down. And, he says, hey, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then Bigfoot just turns and just walks away. He lets him go. I'm like, so, and then the last shot of him, when he puts the camera down, we see him crying. And then it cuts to black. And I'm like, so he lives. Bigfoot let him live. So that's why I appreciate it. It doesn't end on a downbeat ending where everyone dies, and it's like how much 90% of these found footage films, not everybody dies. Our main guy here, Brian, he lives. He lets him go. Although because he lost his brother and his friends, though, but still he lives. And then during the credits, you get this pretty nice subtle music during the credits, which I did like. Okay, it's a pretty subtle way to end it during the credits. I like that. So yeah, it was a very fast-paced film. It was a very short film, and it didn't end on a typical downbeat ending like every other most. I say most because there are some found footage films I've seen that doesn't end on a downbeat ending, so I can't say that like other ones I've seen. So, but most found footage movies, and the character, especially the main brother Brian, I liked. You don't get much development on the other characters though, but it was Brian I was liking the most, because there was a funny piece of dialogue, right, where before shit hit the fan, right, because he kind of was suspecting maybe Bigfoot's out there, and he's like, hey, it's all right, you can come out. I'm hairy too. So you get some pretty little chuckles like that from the brother, but then like I say, when he puts the gun down and says, hey, I'm sorry, Bigfoot just turns around and lets him live, So he didn't die, but he lost his brother and friends though, so that's why he's crying about it. That's why he put the camera down, so he can just brace, because he lives now. He gets to live. And his uncle's dead too, so yeah, there's that too. But there was a lot of pretty good looking shots, Just when Bigfoot, when he's hauling ass, I guess when he's riding on his bicycle, he's just hauling ass through the woods, the guy is he's on fire, to catch the brother. Like when he's the GoPro, like how they make him, Brian Steele, in the costume run that fast, when the guy's on the bike, or when he's trying to get the signal, boom, he's right there in the middle of the road. Or when the other friend tries to use fireworks to signal for help, right? Through the smoke, there he runs up right in his face. Or when the brother first sees Bigfoot, turns the camera on in the window, the light on in the window, there's his face. Or that nice upper shot where Bigfoot just jumps and falls right on top of the trailer. So there was some good looking shots too, and just how it was some clever usages, you know, like the whole thing that the thing they killed was actually a junior version of Bigfoot, basically his kid. Basically, they're the ones they hit, not Bigfoot himself, but his kid, and that's why he's so pissed on why he's on a rampage, because they killed his kid. Although, despite it was an accident, though, Bigfoot wanted revenge. So all the stuff I got out of, I had more enjoyment than I did with Willow Creek, or Legend of Boggy Creek, or Bigfoot County, or I think it was also Sasquatch Mountain, or the Lost Coast tapes, like I said, or that shitty sci-fi one. But and as I said, back to back though, hell a lot better than freaking Hide and Seek, a lot better. It wasn't predictable, like I said. It was very fast paced. So yeah, I got more enjoyment from this film than that film. That film was just a predictable piece of crap. But yeah, but exists, like I said, and Eduardo Sanchez, he did a really good job with this film. I love the Blair Witch Project. Altered was a very interesting movie, and I enjoy this film. Eduardo Sanchez, really great job with what he did. And I got to also give, not only the rest of the main cast, but I gotta give Brian Steele credit for playing Bigfoot. We played Bigfoot. I thought he did a good job too, so you gotta give credit to him as well. Because I think he played Bigfoot because, you know, Harry and the Andersons had a TV show. I know that Kevin Peter Hall, who played the Predator, he played Bigfoot. And I think in the TV show, it was Brian Steele who took over to play Bigfoot in the Harry and the Andersons TV show. So I guess I played a different kind of Bigfoot. And here I think he did a really good job being this scary-looking motherfucker, you can say. But yeah, I really enjoy Exists, and I think I would put this as underrated. The fact that this film is lower on Rotten Tomatoes than Willow Creek is mind-boggling. Or in fact, it's basically on the same rating on IMDb as Willow Creek. That is still mind-boggling. And how does this one, that is so slow and predictable, that you can see the hints coming a mile away. You saw the whole movie coming a mile away. But this gets a 5.9 to be much higher than Exist does. That I'll never understand. But yeah. But Exist, I had fun with the film. It wasn't a typical downbeat ending, and well shot. The lead guy I enjoyed the best, especially. And it was pretty. It was some of the ideas it took. I thought was pretty interesting, and I had fun with the film. So yeah, so that's my review. Try to get the Bigfoot face in there. If you can see us through the glare, you probably can see it right there. But yeah, I really enjoyed the film. So if you haven't seen Exists, I would recommend you check it out. If you're a fan of Bigfoot films or found footage films, give Exists a watch. Especially if you're a fan of the Blair Witch Project, I also recommend you watch this. But anyway, that's Exists. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and we'll see you next time for more to come on Halloween month. Later.